welcome back to Tokusatsu Girlfriend. This is, I say welcome back, but I guess
we've been doing a huge pre-recording sesh, so this is kind of blending together a little bit.
It is a bit, but this is our first episode for Gekiranger.
Right. Yep. Episode 20 here. We're covering Gekiranger since Kamen Rider Build and Juken Sentai Gekiranger were our winners from our Season 4 tournament. This episode, you may have noticed last week, was Build. This week is all about Gekiranger.
Gekiranger. It's really exciting. I personally did not predict a tie.
Me either. I'm surprised and happy.
Yeah, me too.
I have personal stake with Gekiranger. If you guys know me, you know that was my first series that I watched.
Yes,
and
yes.
We're gonna give this a shot. So next week will be Build 5 through 8, and then the week following that will be Gekiranger 5 through 8. You kind of see the pattern here?
I see it. I see it.
Just in case anybody wants to watch real time with us, if they want to watch, you basically only have to watch 2 episodes a week to keep up with us. Obviously, watch ahead if you want. Just don't spoil us.
Don't spoil it, please.
Don't spoil Lauren, at least.
Yeah.
I've seen these. We are watching Gekiranger since that was one of our tied ones, and I know Takaharu is very happy, very excited.
So are you.
He pushed us. I was secretly excited. I didn't think that Gekiranger would make it this far. I thought our Sentai would either be Tokyuger or Gokaiger.
I thought Gokaiger was
in the bag.
Was gonna take it. I really did.
I'm so happy.
I know
that we're watching Gekiranger.
You are aglow. I wish everyone could see you, but you have been so happy ever since it was decided. You have just been on cloud 9.
For our Patreon listeners, if you guys listen to our live episode 1 commentary, which you guys can definitely, if you aren't a Patreon, can hop onto Patreon and listen to that. We did one for Build as well, but we basically sit down, we put the whole episode up, and we have our commentaries. We watch it live, and this one was much easier to watch and do commentary than Build, which is very there's a lot of explanation, and it was
really hard to do.
I love that these series are so night and day. Like Build is so sad, kind of melancholy, kind of just different to the happy, bubbly Gekirangers. It's so goofy and aloof and dumb, and I love it. Oh my gosh, let's talk about it. Episode 1, what happened in episode 1?
Episode 1 starts out with our who will become our Red Ranger for this series, John, fighting pandas.
Well, he's wrestling them.
Yes, he's wrestling pandas.
He gets one to tap out.
He does,
so
almost immediately.
Funny.
He bites its nose, and it's like, I'm out, I'm done, I don't want any more of this. And he's just like, yeah. And they all walk away. It's like shouting at them, if you ever want some more, you know where to find me.
I've seen this first episode so many times. That was the one scene that people would be like, what are you watching? Is that Power Rangers? And I go, no, it's better. And they're like, okay, it just looks like Power Rangers. And I would put on that very first thing, and I'm like, have you ever seen Power Rangers wrestle pandas?
No, you have not. So...
Oh, it's so good.
So that's like our first kind of look, and it is very indicative of who this character is. And then he's just saying things are like baddie bad and nicey nice, and he's clearly got his own language.
He smells one of these baddie bads, and he goes up onto this cliff, this mountain, to see if he can find out where the stench is coming from, and that's when we see a biplane crash land, and your reaction was so funny.
He jumps off a cliff. I'm like, oh my God.
He's Tarzan.
He really is. No sooner had you said he's a better Tarzan than did he just right off that cliff. And then it cut to the intro, and I was like, he stresses me out. I took that time to tell you how much John stresses me out.
What do you think of the intro? I think it's really good.
It's really well shot, I think. I like how it gives you there are 2 sides of this kind of fighting. One's
the narration.
Good, one's bad.
Yeah.
And it's just really pretty. I like it. I think it does the job.
Do you like the song?
I do. It's stuck in my head right now, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't even know what word I'm trying to cinematic shots.
Yeah.
Like the scene where they come running up, and then it cuts to behind them and we see like this city that's like plagued in darkness of the oncoming threat, and then it cuts to like, you know, like the shots of Rio and Melee. Oh my God, it's so good. The narration at the beginning of this just gets you so pumped. The person that's like the outline shadow figure splitting into two. Oh, it's so really well done. Oh my God.
It is. I like it.
Love this show. I'm so happy we're watching it.
I'm happy too. I'm really happy too.
So what happens?
So we see this woman who is a complete badass. I guess, was she in the biplane?
Yes.
Okay. She has this briefcase or something, and she starts literally single-handedly fighting all the little, you know,
these like little hoppy hop dead corpses.
What they're called. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, they're like
they're reanimated like fighters. They're just corpses basically, but they're hopping around like goofballs.
She's taking them out until like a more kind of higher ranking, I guess, boss shows up.
You can tell because they're in red versus the brown.
He's obviously someone, and he's
got a praying mantis on his head.
He certainly does, and he says some disparaging comments about women, and then identifies himself as a predator. And then he's like, by the way, I'm also a praying mantis, and now I'm gonna fight you. And I was like, ooh, this girl, we just saw her kick some serious ass. I can't wait to see her make mincemeat of this guy. But honestly, he kind of mops the floor with her, and I did not care for that.
That's just to show you how strong these individuals really are, because like she's a badass. She is powerful.
Oh my gosh.
But she can't stop the predator.
Yeah, she can't, unfortunately. But John is still there, and he tries. God love him, he tries.
He just hops in and he's like not even watching and just like scratching his head. And
but he momentarily transforms into a tiger, which he did tell her, I'm a tiger boy, whatever that means. And then he briefly turns into a tiger before he tries to attack also, and no, it doesn't work. But it exposes these like bracelet things
that were in the briefcase.
In the briefcase, yeah, it gets like flung open, and the praying mantis dude is like, this is what I was looking for, bye. And he takes them and he disappears. He's gone. Come to find out, those are like very important bracelets. Like,
yes, that's what the villains are looking for.
Yeah. So I think at that point it cuts back to like where the villains are so that we get to see them. And it looks very Mortal Kombat to me.
That set, not necessarily a set, but like that model or whatever they have, like the little floating island, is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I don't mean to throw shade at anybody who was in the chat during our tournament that was just like, I couldn't get into Gekiranger. I didn't like Gekiranger. We are like literally not even 5 minutes into the show, and there's so much here with this. It's unbelievable. It looks
beautiful.
So good.
Like, I mean, I know it's supposed to be villainous and scary looking, but like, it's really cool looking. I like it. And I love our main villain, his look. He is like, I love it. He looks so dastardly, and like there's no mistaking. He's a villain for sure.
He even gets attacked by his right-hand woman, who's a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
Melee. She tries to like stab him with her tongue, and he just whoop.
Right off the bat. I think I even, that's the first episode. So if you're a Patreon, you can hear my reaction in real time. But I was like, whoa, shit. And then she's like, ha ha ha, it's just me. I love you. And he's just like, well, I'm not feeling it. And she's like, one day my love will pierce you. But anyway,
the bracelets have like communication to some higher being power, and they're telling him in order to attain this unstoppable power, he has to harvest like human screams. And we get this. He's harvesting the human screams. Yeah. Is that what you're laughing at?
Yes, I am.
And we see that his spirit animal, his spirit beast, is a lion, which I really, really like that they did in this show, because we've had Gal Ranger. We've had so many series in the past where the lion is like the leader of the team. The lion is like the head of the food chain. Mm-hmm. To have it
noble and valiant.
Yeah, to have it be the villain is really great.
I think so too. It's innovative.
And our our main three, like those, the whole team, they have all cat powers too, but they're not your typical, ones that we would see. We got obviously the tiger, we got the panther, and we got the cheetah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't see it. I didn't know that about Gekiranger, that they're all cat themed. I thought it was just like, kind of wild animal, sort of maybe like jungle theme.
I have the strength of a penguin.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, can you imagine being the person that's like, I'm the penguin? Like, how unfortunate.
Right.
As far as I know, you did then tell me.
There is a penguin master.
We are going to see the penguin master. So maybe
Michelle Peng.
Maybe I'll stand corrected at that point. But it just seems a little unfair. All these people, I'm a tiger, I'm a panther, I'm a cheetah, I'm a penguin. Okay.
She's powerful. She's a master. We have our Miss Miki, as her name is, who runs this organization called Skirt. And
say that again.
Skirt. And it's like an athletic thing, which, like, if you've seen Gekiranger, this is in Gekiranger. They had a Gekiranger. This is like a prequel to Gekiranger, which, fun note, the villains, the little henchmen guys, the more powerful versions of those in Gekiranger literally are the same outfit, just a different color with a different headpiece.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what Gekiranger did. However, where Gekiranger fails terribly is that they never, in Gekiranger, they can expand their power and they turn into a bigger, stronger looking monster. Like, it's a cool outfit for these guys.
Yeah.
They're not just these foot soldiers with different headpieces on, which is what Gekiranger does. And I was always really kind of bitter about Gekiranger just having really lackluster monster of the weeks.
Right.
So I mean, I understand, like budget constraints and everything, but anyway.
Yes, anyway.
John wakes up and he apparently doesn't have any broken bones after like having a bunch of trees fall on him.
Yeah.
And he discovers these other two warriors fighting, a blue and a yellow ranger, and he's like freaking out, like slamming
this is so cool.
against the window.
Oh my god.
And that's when we're introduced to Ran and Retsu.
Yeah, who are Geki Yellow and Geki Blue. And it's just kind of crazy because I feel like you normally, at least for me, you normally see like, 5 members strong Sentai teams. And then this one is just a 3-piece. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It seems like they might have their work cut out for them more because they are lacking those 2 extra members that we normally see.
I think there's a lot of pros to this. Like, obviously they've done this in the past. They've done it with Hurricaneger.
Right.
They did it with, even a series all the way back, like the 5th Sentai series with Sun Vulcan only had 3 members.
Gotcha.
You offer the extra 2 characters that you can, really enjoy in these episodes, but you get so much more development with your 3, which is one of the reasons why I think Kamen Rider can sometimes feel a little bit better story-wise.
That makes sense. You get to kind of like know the characters more.
Yeah.
I guess in a way.
But we get a whole other cast of characters. Obviously, we get Miss Miki.
Right.
We introduced to my favorite character, Master Shafu, who's got the little hands and
they're tiny.
Oh my god, I love him, especially like with the ending song and they're like trying to find him and he's just dancing
around. Oh my gosh, he's everything.
He's the best of the show. But yeah, that's when we are introduced to the whole organization and what they're really doing, and is training these people that have these animal spirits to fight the good side of this. Like, there's 2 schools, they're the good side. They're the beast power instead of the predator power.
Right. They're the good guys, and they're basically prepping to go to battle with the bad side.
And I love that John can't even like open a door. Like, he's like smacking his head on it, and like they give him some clothes, before he heads out because they had to go fight the baddie bad. Because John speak, if you guys aren't actually watching with us, or if you're just listening, John speaks in like broken Japanese, and so he just says things like baddie bad and like nicey nice, super, and like stuff like that. You made the comment like, this boy can't even like
button his shirt. Well, because when they arrive on the scene of the fight,
he's still getting dressed.
He's still like trying to button his shirt.
and they expect him to fight.
I know. No one told him how to transform, like nothing.
I love that. But that like shows you the strength of John, because he watches Ran and Retsu do their transformation together, and he's like, oh my God. And he knows how to do it. And he's like, I can do it with them.
Yeah.
But obviously something's missing. He does exactly what they do. He hits the things, he punches, nothing happens. I love that. And it's not until he harnesses that power within him that he sees someone in danger and he has to act.
Yeah.
You know, the bystander effect dissolves in him, and he's got to jump in, and that's when he's able to transform. And I love that scene so much. I don't know. It's really funny because, like, obviously this was my first Sentai, and this was just something that I'd never seen before. Yeah. And it makes me so happy to revisit it.
I'm happy you're happy.
When I first moved up to college, I bought a pirated DVD set of this series, which are just like TV Nihon subs thrown onto a disc. It was like $50 I paid for it. I was stupid. But I love to have physical media, and I had this, and we were watching like a movie, and like I had 3 new roommates, 3 new possible best friends.
All right.
And they were like, what's this Super Sentai thing you've been talking about? So I put on Gekiranger, and obviously they see him fighting, wrestling pandas, and they're like, I'm sold. And then we finished episode 1, and they're like, yeah, that was great. And I was like, do you guys want to watch episode 2? And they didn't.
No.
And I've never had a chance to rewatch this since 2000, and I think I got into it 2008. So I haven't watched this since 2008.
Okay.
Over 10 years, yeah. So it's been a trip, but yeah, basically this ends with him kicking ass. Like, they all have really good choreography.
They really do.
The monster of the week grows big, but Master Shafu stops him with his little hands.
He does. And he grows big, and they're like, well, we want to learn how to do that. And he's like, nope. And that's basically how the episode ends.
So episode 2, what
Yeah. We start out with episode 2, and they're basically like, and I might be jumping ahead, so please forgive me if I am. But they're basically back at the headquarters, and what's her name? Miki? Miss Miki?
Mm-hmm.
She's like really coming down on Master Shafu. She's like, what were you thinking? You took an oath not to fight. Like, you can't be doing that. And the 3 of them are like, yeah, please let us fight for you. In fact, please teach us how to do the big thing you did. He's like, you're not ready. And then Blue is like, well, obviously this guy's an outsider, talking about John. And I really like Ron, but come on. You need more than a pure heart. Teach me. I'm ready. And then that sparks a fight. And I love how she's like, what do you mean? I'm not ready, blah, blah, blah. And John's big thing is he's like, what's an outsider? I love that. I thought that was so funny.
Is John more endearing than you thought he would be?
He is. Yeah, I just kind of thought he'd be like a dingus,
like just constantly yelling and stupid, and it's not fun.
Right, but
he's super lovable.
He is, and he's funny.
I think the thing about this and Kamen Rider Build is that both of the main characters, I feel like if any other actor played that, they wouldn't accurately convey. They would take it too far. Like, we would have a Q Ranger with a Yosha Lucky, where they're not really sure of the scope of what the character is, and it doesn't really land, Or the Ninja where Moikita, and it's just like, oh, shut up. Like, like John is super endearing because he plays it 100%.
He does, and he doesn't overplay it.
Right.
I don't know. He's got a good balance, I think. But meanwhile, Melee, that's her name, right? She is chasing down the predator, the praying mantis predator in the forest. And she's like, so you lost, which means death. And she's got him by the neck. And he's like, oh, wait, I have a plan. And she's like, if you lost that badly to him, how in the hell do you think any sort of anything is going to work against him? And he's like, no, I've got a really good plan. See? And he points at the dam, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll let you live for now because I want to see this plan. And so that's all we know about what's going on with them.
And Master Shafu tells them that they should teach John how to, master his Gekiwaza. And get him getting going with that. And so he's like punching the little robot, and Ron, who's teaching him, is just like, yeah, you got to do this 1,000 times a day. You know, she's kind of your happy-go-lucky leader type. And then Retsu goes and grabs the Geki knuckles off it's like nunchucks off the wall, and immediately he's like, "Hey, what's this?" And he's just like, "You're not ready to use these."
Yeah.
And then he yells at him like he.
Yeah, he like he's like.
He like growls at him, and like he drops him, and he like grabs him, and he goes to run out the door. And in the first episode, he runs into the door, not sure what to do, but you can see that he's learning, and he presses the button to get out, you know, because they are even like, he's like a child. And you can tell that he's learning, which is huge, you know, that this show can kind of convey that.
That was so funny. That might be my favorite part of that episode, where he like growls at him, makes a noise at him, and then literally steals the nunchucks. I thought that was fun.
Ron chases after him, and Miss Miki comes in and takes Retsu out to eat, and kind of has a heart-to-heart with him, and makes him realize that there are really 3 key elements to mastering Geki Juken. And that is, obviously, you have to have your technique, your sensibility, you have to have heart, and you have to have the love for it.
Yeah.
And he realizes that he's got, you know, the sensible technique. Ron has the heart, and John is the one that has the love for this. And so she's like, you got to go teach him. And so they find him out in a field, and he's just like trying to whip these things, and he keeps hitting himself.
Oh, the poor guy.
And
you gotta like, feel for him.
She's like, he's been like this whole time. And like Retsu and Miss Miki went out to have like at least 2 bowls of ramen. So this has been like an hour or 2
at least
that he's just been like hitting himself with these.
But he's trying so hard. And but it's kind of a nice bonding moment for them.
Yeah, Retsu really shows him how to do it, and he immediately picks it up and teaches them a new word, and we kind of get introduced to John speak a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's cute. It's a cute scene. You can start to see the formation of their team and their bond, and it's starting to take shape.
I think at the beginning of this episode, you were like, I don't like this Blue.
And he still needs to endear himself to me, but after seeing that, he's gone up a notch. Not much, but a notch.
They're pulling the stick inch by inch out of his ass.
Yes, they are.
He does get a whole lot better. Yeah, that actor's great. He's got a twin brother who was in Akiba Ranger.
Okay.
He played the backup Red.
Okay.
They're great. He was also in something else. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. But anyway, so the big master plan of the praying mantis is to break this dam and flood the city.
People are gonna scream.
They killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, they more than likely did.
But we get one of the coolest fight choreographies on top of a building, which is the first scene I'd ever seen of Tokusatsu, was that transformation.
Right. And it was cool. It didn't disappoint.
All 3 of them finally together doing it at once and fighting off Melee, who's introduced herself to them.
Yeah.
And, they all get to use their weapons, and they end up figuring out how to do the clone jutsu or whatever the hell it's called, Juken, and they can take their animal spirits and turn them into giant versions that they can inhabit. And they tie it up and fight the dude, which is so cool in the water.
Yeah, that was really cool seeing that in the water. There was a lot with this Gate fight that I've really liked. I liked seeing it in the water. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of a cool change. I liked seeing all of them like together in a cockpit, as opposed to kind of like, I feel like I normally see it broken up, like they're all in their own individual cockpits, and they're also like in front of like a steering wheel or something. But this one, they're like
Shinkenger, they're all in together.
Yeah, but they're still in front of like a cockpit thing, like a steering
Shinkenger's
wheel.
pisses me off. How do they control it with just a sword?
I know.
This one's cool because it's like they're all combined together, mind and body, and they all have to work in tandem with one another.
And they're all freestanding. There isn't like, I don't know, there's no like steering wheel. Like, it just seems to pick up on their moves. Like when we see it spinning, they're in there literally spinning. Like we see them themselves spinning. And I like that. And then we also see the Gatai use
weapons that aren't swords.
Exactly. I'm not sure if that's really like a thing, but from the Sentais I've seen, which too, this only kind of weapon we usually see is just a sword. And so this was cool because it was like it was almost like, it started out as nunchucks, like 3-piece nunchucks that became like a staff. And it was cool. I haven't seen that before. So it was really cool to see a Gatai fighting with something other than a sword. So I like this Gatai fight. Normally I find them really boring and I'm not here for them. This was cool.
Well,
I liked it.
Especially because we are introduced to Flybae, who
yes.
Came out of Melee's stomach. She apparently ate him at some point, but he's like a commentator. He's like Lee Jordan for the Gekirangers.
He is.
And he's here for every episode. He commentates.
Oh, good. I like it. Maybe that will help make Gatai fights more interesting to me.
I think so too, because like I obviously remember watching this back in the day, and really I loved every aspect of Gekiranger. And I got into Go-Onger, and I'm like, yeah, I love Go-Onger too, but like obviously the more Sentai I watched, the more the mecha fights, I was just like, I'm bored as hell with these. They're the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Gekiranger really does, for the most part, feel like a breath of fresh air.
Right. I see that already. With this first one, I'm already seeing it. So I like it. And of course, we are victorious. Gekirangers are victorious. They win. Woo! Then Melee swallows the little Flybae again, and she's off. And that's more or less how we end our second episode.
Miss Miki summons ramen out of
which is really impressive. I like that. That's probably what I would use my little thing for, summoning food.
But yeah, anything else on these episodes?
Not really. I'm glad I'm liking it more than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem like a good team. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yay. I'm super pumped because this, honestly, like the Sentai that you've seen and just a lot of Sentai have a certain like trajectory to them that they all have to like, okay, we're in like the 14 to 20 episode range. We have to introduce our 6th hero.
Right.
Okay, we're nearing 30. We're got to introduce the superpower mode. I honestly think they get their superpower mode like super, super early.
Okay.
Like everything about this show is all out of order and it's great. And Gekiranger is just such a nice little place in my heart. I even have a couple of the scripts from the show, like actual scripts that they used for the show. So that's very cool. I am just absolutely in love with this show.
I know you are. You are so psyched.
I wasn't as psyched until we started the prospect of watching it, and I was like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, let's go, yeah. But. All right, we're going to go watch episodes 3 and 4, and we'll be right back with you after this message.
See you soon.
Or not. We could be recording this another day. You don't know. All right, let's talk about episode 3, or should I say lesson 3.
Oh, that's very apropos.
What does that mean?
Like on the nose.
Yeah.
That's good.
I forget what Kiramager's was. It was something. I don't know. I don't remember. I know in Shinkenger they're in acts. So like Act 1, Act 2, because it's a play.
Oh,
the unfolding events.
I'm looking at it now on the screen. That wasn't a joke you made up.
No.
They are literally called lessons.
You thought it was a joke?
I thought that you were just being incredibly clever. I'm like, oh.
Yes, let's just say that.
Yeah, I kind of prefer that.
That I'm very clever instead of someone at Toei being clever.
This is not the official title or whatever. I thought that you were just being like incredibly clever.
No. Well, let's talk about episode 3. So this is a John-focused episode. What happened?
So this marks I guess he's been training, but this, to me, seemed to mark the beginning of his like actual, let's get down to it, let's get serious training. He's wanting to learn like the things that Ran and is his name Rinsu?
Rinsu. Retsu.
Sorry.
Rinsu. And repeat.
He's wanting
Quite the
to
team
learn.
you got there.
I thank you so much. They each have like their own special, I don't know, I guess you could say move for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And John is like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to be like yellow. I want to be like blue.
You don't have the right speed for our menu. You don't have the right technique for our menu.
And I got really excited when Master Shefu. Xiaofu. Yes. Sorry.
Sounds like you're saying like the Japanese word for chef. Shefu.
Well, that's kind of how I've been trying to remember it.
Oh.
He's like, we have a special menu for you. And anytime we talk about food, I'm like, yo, what's he going to eat? I'm excited. I love food. So I got really excited on his behalf. And then come to find out, his special menu was just dusting a gym.
The secret menu.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, not really what I thought was going to be in store for our boy.
What do you mean by dusting a gym? Do you mean cleaning a gym with from dust?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dusting.
Sounds like he's making the dust in the gym.
No, you've never heard the term dusting? Like when you clean, you say I'm dusting.
No, I remember in Gekiranger we had a character named Dustin who sucked.
Well, you know what they say, art mimics life.
Yes.
But no, yeah, that's what they say when you clean, like you're dusting.
Oh, you're
something.
dusting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was dusting the gym. So
Gotcha.
He's cleaning the gym, and he seems pretty gung-ho about it for the most part, until he is not. Until they have...
Did you already forget this episode? It feels like you're just kind of like
a little
fumbling
bit.
in the dark. What the hell?
I'm kind of just winging it.
We literally just watched it. We didn't even watch episode 4 yet. We decided, hey, since we're on the couch, let's just watch episode 3 and record and see how that goes. And you're telling me you already forgot it?
What is it that Michael Scott says? Sometimes I just begin sentences and I don't know where they're going, but I hope they get there.
I can tell. I can literally look over at you and tell.
Well,
the first thing in this episode is it shows Melee, who is outside of this temple where all these...
I remember this.
Well, you didn't say it.
My problem is I can't remember in what order things happen in the episode.
Oh, man. Well, this is important because it's the Rinchi and they're training and...
I don't like them.
Yeah, because they hop around.
I don't like the straight arms. I don't like the hopping.
Well, anyway, there's 2 of them that have gone in and they are blindfolded and they get jumped and their ass handed to them and probably killed.
Probably. It does seem that way.
And then the third one goes in and Rio comes out and he kind of explains everything. And then we find out that this one survived and it's maybe got the power to stop the evil school to them, which is our good guys, our Gekirangers. And he becomes the bull Rinchi. Which
is weird because the subs called him Buffalo, but he's clearly a bull.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
I just want to point that out.
Well,
he's
the subs
clearly
are
a bull, but the subs call him Buffalo.
The subs are done by kids that are just using Google Translate.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Probably not. I actually don't know who subbed the ones that we have. It's not TV Nihon, thank God.
Yes.
It's something.
But this makes me believe that this is what Mantis had to go through also. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of like the elevated bosses of the what is it? The Rishi?
You got to earn that promotion, the Rinchi.
Yeah. Rinchi. Maybe that's where I'm getting Rinsu from. Yeah, so I bet that's what Mantis had to do.
But anyway, this bull is showing up, causing chaos, and even stops all of our heroes. And you mentioned when they kind of have him on the ropes, his body can't handle the transformation. Yeah. And so he transforms back and has to dip out, which is like, compare it to the series we just watched with Gekiranger, they would just leave them like, I'm just not going to kill you today for no reason.
Yeah, like the Gekiramangers would be down and getting ready to tap out, and the enemy would be like, well, now that I have you here, I'm going to leave.
I'm going to have a plate of spaghetti. You better be here when I get back. That's when I'll do my killing after I've been fed. Of course they're going to be gone by then.
Yeah. So I liked this. Thank you for reminding me. But I liked that he was clearly on the ropes and he was like, I'm out of here. That's why I'm leaving right now. If I were at my full power, if I was maxed out,
you'd be dead.
It'd be a different story. I won't hesitate, bitch. But since we're not there yet, I'm just gonna.
And that's usually per the course for.
That's how it should be.
But I feel like once you're in your 44th season of doing this, you have to. It's kind of like, are they really gonna do that again? Let's do it where they just leave. Let's not explain it. Okay, that didn't really fucking work.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That's Gekiranger in a nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah, they're watching this, especially right after Gekiranger, kind of points a lot of like big flaws. Like I know I mentioned the one where it's the foot soldiers and then your generals are just like a different looking version of the foot soldier, but they still look like the foot soldier, which is just like Gekiranger, except in this one they can transform their bodies into their animal or whatever they acquire, which is how Gekiranger should have been too. They should have been these dumbasses with bigger, different heads, and then once they unlock power, or maybe like, you know, down the line, the like the last arc bosses start getting like different power-ups and you can actually have like cool outfits, because the Gekiranger villains were so stupid looking.
They were.
The little unitard thing.
Yeah, I gotta give you that one. Gotta agree.
And, oh man, I love looking at this show. Like the main cast's outfits aren't probably the greatest, but they do grow on you. They look comfortable.
Yeah.
But like the monster stuff looks so good in this. It's a nice little level of detail.
I agree. I do agree with you on this.
But anyway, John goes back to his training and he rips through his little towel.
His dust rag.
Yeah, and he has to go get a new one, which apparently it has weights inside of it, and it's like, and he gets a new one, and Miss Miki upgrades it to, looks like 15 kilos.
She's like, this is heavy. Anyone
I guess
go
it's
dust?
45 because there's 3 of them in there. But
yeah.
And then he goes and gets it wet and then rinses it through the weighted metal. I love stupid stuff like that. And he continues while Ron and Retsu go try to fight this bull.
Victory through training. He keeps screaming. Could you imagine? I mean, in all seriousness, could you imagine just being in a gym?
I will try, yes.
And this clown is just dusting the whole thing, and the entire time he's just screaming, victory through training, victory through training. It's
very anime.
Yeah.
The whole scene.
At what point does Master Shifu? I'm gonna get it.
Master, you shifooed me.
What is it?
Shafu.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like he gave him like the Japanese version of Shaft.
Okay.
Just think of like who played Shaft? Was it Samuel Jackson? No. No, he played it in the new one. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Who was it? Wesley Snipes? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. But
just think of Shaft.
At what point does Master Shafu say, okay, this is annoying. What have I done? I've made a horrible mistake.
He's taking a cat nap.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart. But anyway,
if Ralphie can put up with me all day, I'm pretty sure Master Shaftu can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he knows what he got himself into with John.
But yeah, then he tells him, "Hey, they already left," and
hey, they already left.
Go and help fight.
And yeah, he does.
He suplexes the bull. He
who is tossing about Ran and Retsu like it's nothing.
And then John ends up cleaning the floor with him.
Literally.
Yeah.
He brings his dust rag, which I'm like, oh, you and I are both like, oh, that's going to snag on the concrete. That's not going to work out.
He's going to rip through another one. Good thing she's got like 20 boxes of rags, it looks like.
Also, of course, we got our Gatai fight. And I actually kind of like those now because we've got Flybae.
And we got the little commentary like window.
I love him. I think he's so funny. I think he's great. And he's like totally a fan of, okay, what is the name of their Gatai? Gekitoja?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. He is such a fan of Gekitoja, and I love that. Like he's supposed to be a bad guy, I think. And he's like,
well, you'll find out.
oh, okay. Well, for now, since he's, hanging out with Melee.
He got eaten by a bad guy.
I guess that.
So that doesn't inherently make him evil.
You are right, Squall. You are absolutely right. Thank you for keeping 100%. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's hilarious. So I do like that now these fights are being commentated. It kind of adds a little something to an otherwise lackluster thing that I always found boring. So
I liked the bowl suit that it had like the little through the nose. That was pretty cool.
The septum, like. Oh wait, you're talking about the actual steam through the.
Yeah, the steam,
okay.
Like the actual effect of that was cool. Not the septum piercing that most bulls have.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yes, you are correct.
Anything else on the rest of this episode? On the restu of this episode?
No, just that I could tell it was kind of filler in a way, but not like annoyingly so. Like it's necessary, but it didn't feel like it dragged.
It's charming filler.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's why I like the Sentai within this range. So like the mid 2000s to like the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Have what I call charming filler.
Yeah.
Where you don't mind that it's filler versus like Kira Major where it's filler and it's like you get mad that you're like, I want a real episode here, but we are early on. We're
character development. We've got to get him trained, and this is how we do it. So.
And because we only have 3 characters, there's going to be some, central focus episodes. Obviously, blue one's coming up, yellow's coming up. We're going to
I don't care for blue right now.
Why not?
I don't know. There's just something about him. It's just maybe he's too stiff or just I'm not seeing the heart. I get that yellow is the heart.
Imagine Ryunosuke if there was no Takaru, but he still had to be on the team. That's Retsu.
Okay, well, I'm hoping to see it soon.
All right, let's move on to episode 4. So what happened in episode 4? Can you remember this one?
Yes, but I just hit myself in the mouth with the mic, so give me a moment.
I saw you like to do that a lot.
I don't like to do it. It just happens. So this episode started out with the 5 venomous or poisonous.
Yeah, the last one ended with the 5 poisonous fists.
Okay.
Or venomous fists.
I like venomous better.
Yeah.
I hope that's what it is because
it's a little more piercing.
Ooh, menacing. Yeah. So we knew they were coming and they looked like they were not anyone you wanted to mess around with.
It's like a Sentai team of baddies.
Yeah, which is really cool. I really like that concept.
In episode 4 too.
I know. Well, and see, that's what I was going to mention later on, which I guess I will because it fits better later on. But this seems really early on to throw such a formidable crew at I guess technically Ron and Retsu aren't newbies, but John definitely is. And for a team of 3 to have one that's completely new in your team, that kind of like drags the whole.
It's like Takamichi with the Kira Majors.
Yeah, exactly.
They're constantly struggle busing because of that Wonder Chode.
The joke will never get old.
No, it's great.
So yeah, we see that the 5 venomous fists are coming to fight the Gekirangers.
Yeah, the beginning of the episode, basically like in their rooms or their cells or whatever the hell they are.
They look like cells. Like I get that that's their rooms, but it looks like they're jailed or prisoned.
They're showing off their abilities, and we find out that one of them is named Maga.
Yeah.
Maga.
Well, it even said something like he's pretty stupid, but he's got these bombs that he throws.
Yeah. Those are online insults he's hurling.
Did you have a favorite of those 5?
I like Bracco, the snake. Yeah. Maybe because he's the leader in a way too. He's in the middle.
Well, when
although
he's
introduced
that little
second
bickering match, he seemed like the most reasonable and smart. He's like, guys, stop acting a fool in front of
Master Rio.
Yeah, you guys look so stupid right now.
Who's your favorite?
Scorpion chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of moody one.
Yeah. I like her.
Well, this episode's really cool because it like culminates in there's a lot of Rio moments. Like we get to see a flashback, which I guess we didn't mention it in the first episode, but
yeah,
there's so much going on in the first episode. It's fine because I knew they were going to come back to it. Rio has this dream where he's an angry looking kid staring at the fog monster from Lost over the dead bodies of some adults.
Questionable. Yeah, we don't know who they are, but
any idea who they might be?
Maybe his parents, his family.
Yeah, I think
important people in his life that most kids probably wouldn't kill.
I'm pretty sure that's who it is. But yeah, he's dealing with that, and he senses that he's gonna meet, or he's gonna have a confrontation with this great power, and so when we introduce the 5 venomous fists, and they're just like whooping the Gekiranger's ass, Shafu shows up to save them, and that's when Rio even shows up, and all of them. I love when they like make their little gatai of arms to make a throne for him.
Yeah, and they hold him. Like, it's so dramatic. Mm-hmm. This is a very extra villain, I can tell. I like it. I like it a lot. But that's what I was going to mention, is that we are only in episode 4, and we're already having a boss battle with what I assume to be the final boss. Granted, it's mainly Master Shafu that is taking the lead on this. It's not like the whole team.
Who it's revealed is also the master of this Rio.
Right. He's a former student.
He fell to Gadoshu.
Ooh.
He's part of the Sith.
It kind of surprised me that like episode 4 and we're having like a boss battle with the final baddie bad. I don't know. I kind of like it, to be honest. 'Cause, I mean, if you using Kiramager as an example, we didn't have like an actual fight with like Emperor Yodon until he showed up. He would blow up a city block or 2, and then he's like, "Wait until you see what I can really do," and then he'd go away. There's no fighting involved until like the last episode or so. So this is really cool. I thought to like have a boss fight like right from the get-go.
Well, I mean, they had it in the very first episode too. In the intro, they have Rio and John exchanging blows, which is a little prophetic to the rest of the story, because he senses this great power, and he and Shafu end up squaring off with their keys. Their power is like fighting above them, and even Ron's like, "Oh, Master Shafu, you can't fight. You made a promise not to. Don't do it." And he goes against it anyway, and he's gonna get his butt handed to him when John runs in.
Yeah, he literally
transforms and then fights him with his key, and that's when Rio, whose power made it nighttime, and then because it cleared up, it became daytime again.
And they were no longer in a forest.
Yeah, it does a lot to you. He finds out realizes that this is the power that he was going to be opposed.
Yeah, it wasn't Master Shafu. He was like, "Oh no, it's actually this dingus."
And honestly, like it should have started like a little showdown there, but then he gets Scorpion Chick to come in and poison him real quick. Or no, it was the Gecko guy.
Yeah.
That poisons him real quick, and they have to do a giant robot.
A speed run almost.
Yeah, against 5 villains.
Capture the flag speed run.
Capture the antidote.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great. Like, this show actually, like, I know we're only 4 episodes in, but it actively keeps your attention throughout. And the only thing I miss from this show is because we're watching like really nice upscale DVD versions of these, is the editions I used to have a little timer up in the corner that would show you like Japan's time when it aired. And I missed that, like every episode starting at 7:30, and then like, I don't know, like it was so synonymous with watching the show. Like every time I try to show like my stepdad, he'd be like, "What's the 7:30 mean?" It's just a clock. It was on TV.
Ignore it.
Yeah, come on, man. And I don't know, like every time, like I remember this was like the first episode that it really kind of was like, holy crap, we're in the 7:50 range, which usually that's like your last 5 minutes of the episode. And I was like, what? They're still introducing stuff. Things are still coming at me, Oh my goodness. Like that was like the first time that I realized, like, oh my gosh, this might even be a 2-parter. This might be,
Right.
But they end up winning. And we forgot to talk about the best part of this episode was their training seminar.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad you brought it up. I was thinking about how I would sneak it back in. Yeah, so they're at an ice skating rink learning how to figure skate, which, fun fact for all you Tokusatsu Girlfriend listeners, I used to be a figure skater back in my middle school days. So this was very fun to see on the old big screen, I guess you could say.
Well, it's big because I bought a big screen.
Exactly. It was very cool. So I really enjoyed seeing this particular training, and they had a special guest who
Junko Yaginuma.
Yes, an actual figure skater who was showing off her moves. I can't remember the name of the special spiral jump move that came into play from both their training and then later on and the Gatai fight. Actually, she was training them on that.
I have no idea if that was actually her. It says guest cast, and then the first ones are voices, and then there's like, those are all the venomous. But then there's 5 skaters listed, so it could have been also Aki Nishimura, Masumi Haruki, Ryo Arai, Atsushi Funbashi. I'm gonna click on the first one.
I think it's the first one.
There's no picture of her. Wait, she has her own Wikipedia link. This has to be her because she was definitely. Yeah. She was a Japanese figure skater in 95 when she retired.
Oh man.
But yeah.
I thought that was cool that they actually had a real.
It wasn't just like
figure.
Some like.
It's not like some
actor playing.
Yeah, like. They didn't just go to a skating rink and say, we want you to play this allegedly famous figure skater to train them. They actually got someone who can back up the skill, like who knows her stuff. So I thought that was cool.
If I remember correctly, I feel like they do that with this show. Like there are actual exemplary people who have like done something that they are learning or they're interacting with, which is kind of cool, which I think set the precedence for Gokaiger, where Gokaiger, they have to learn something. And so they have past heroes come back, like John here. Spoiler, obviously he's got to survive by the end because it's Sentai.
What? Whoa.
He makes an appearance in Gokaiger, which was a really fun one. He teaches Green and Pink how to fight, which was good because they're kind of the weakest on the team at that point. I think it's episode 7 at Gokaiger, but yeah,
that is pretty cool.
I like that. I'm really enjoying that we're watching this show so far, and this episode is really great, and I think this is definitely, compared to like the first episode, the standout episode that's going to really keep that bar up high.
Yes.
I mean, it's just so night and day, literally. It's like Rio when he's powered up and Rio when he's not powered up compared to like what we just watched with Gekiranger. Like you have 5 characters that they just introduced in this episode who all have 5 different monster forms. The hallway scene at the beginning, the budget in this show is so good, and the budget with Sentai now is a little bit scarcer, which it stinks. It's just the belly of the beast with making a show that has been on for so long that it doesn't do well as sales. Like obviously because we're watching Kamen Rider Build, and I think you're a little more engaged with Build just because.
I am. Nothing against Gekiranger. I'm still really enjoying Gekiranger, so I don't want this to come off to anyone as like, I don't like Gekiranger.
I just want to watch Build.
I'm really loving Build. But as you and I discussed the other night, we think that I might be more of a Kamen Rider girl.
That's okay. Like Sentai is good because it's formulaic, and so when it breaks that formula, that's where it becomes brilliant. And that's what I enjoy watching. And Gekiranger, I didn't know it when I first watched it, obviously, because it was my first Sentai, but it really broke the mold. Like going back and watching like Bokenger, Maji Ranger, all these other seasons that kind of predated it. Like Gekiranger really was at the time a breath of fresh air. And Goanger came in, and Goanger was kind of unique and different and weird. And it didn't really hit the mark as well as it should have. But then Shinkenger came in, and I think my theory always is, whatever Sentai you have that does something or experiment something in a season, you don't see it in the next season right away. You usually see it in the season following the next one just because there's waves and groups of people. So like Lupin Ranger versus Pata Ranger had a lot of GoPro footage fights, which we saw some in Gekiranger, but LVP had a bunch of them, but they weren't in Q Ranger a lot. They started doing that in Zyuohger. And so it's like kind of stuff like that. So like I'm starting to see some stuff in here that I know Shinkenger kind of picked up and perfected a little bit, just kind of the story element. But oh man, I love that we're watching Gekiranger. Thank you so much.
Too. Thank you, Takaharu.
Yes, for pushing Gekiranger all the way to the end. Who knows? Maybe there's somebody listening to this that, is tuning in because they like our show, or they like Build, or they, have never seen Gekiranger. So if you guys are watching Gekiranger with us right now, every other week, thank you. And honestly, it's gonna be a fun ride. Definitely try to keep yourself around our range too, because I think that'll be a more fun experience for you to kind of listen and watch and do all that. But if you like the show, go for it. I don't think this is one that can be super binged. I think this one is definitely one that it matures and it kind of refines itself a little bit by little bit.
Okay. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Just seeing Rio in action in his suit, which he looks like Garo. Oh,
yeah, he does. We both were
good.
like, Garo. Oh my God, he's here.
I gotta put Bay on the cover of one of these podcast episodes.
I love Fly Bay.
Yeah, he's like little Ralphie.
He is. Who is my little friend right now.
Yeah, he gets to lay on the couch.
Me. I love this cat.
You want to say something, Ralph?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you want to say something, baby?
All right. That's how he feels about Gekiranger.
Oh, he's so cute.
He gives it 2 purrs up.
So cute.
Anything else you want to say on these first 4 episodes?
No, just that I am really enjoying them more than I even thought I would.
I'm so happy.
So I'm very excited. I'm getting invested. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Favorite characters so far, other than Bay?
Oh, other than Bay?
Give me your top 3 characters right now.
Top 3 characters. Yeah. I guess I like Ron.
Mm-hmm.
I like John.
Ron John Bay.
Ron
John Silver.
I like Melee just because you know me. I'm a villain person, but I guess I don't know.
Your personalities are somewhat similar, where she's obviously more ooh.
Well,
your nurturing sense is
that
similar.
Scene where he's sitting, Rio is sitting there with his eyes closed, and she
After
comes
the
up
dream.
to him, and she's like, "Are you okay? Do you have a stomach ache? Does your head hurt? Is there anything I can do? Can you please just let me know if there's something I can do?"
That's definitely you to me. All the time.
All the time. I'm always like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay? Is there anything I can get for you? Do you have a stomach ache? Do you want a Tums? Do you want some Tylenol? Does your head hurt?
And
Are you
hand
hungry?"
me a little glass and I shatter it with my hand. Bad dreams.
Yeah, except you like those.
I love bad dreams. Side weird tangent before we end this episode. I know is a weird place to go. I love getting the bejesus scared out of me, and nightmares are some of the best, easiest ways to do that. But I hardly dream, or at least I don't remember my dreams. And I've only had maybe 2 nightmares in my entire life. And I fucking love them. Oh my God. You got me all excited. Maybe tonight I might have one.
Remember the other night when it was storming and I woke up and it was or whatever it was that I did. I don't even remember.
I was so Lauren was passed out asleep next to me, and I was reading, and it was storming out, and it stormed and thundered so loud that it kind of shook the house a little bit, and Lauren just in the middle of her dead sleep just opened her eyes and went
that went right back to sleep.
She's immediately back to sleeping.
That's a nightmare for me.
Yeah. IRL.
Yeah.
Oh man, well hopefully this series keeps up with you. I know you're definitely wanting to jump back into Build.
I am. I'm liking knocking these out
it's comfortable. Well, we should have been doing this on the couch longer.
Yeah, no, this is so comfy. Once again, y'all, I am on the Chase Lounge, and now it's even better because I have my Tokusatsu son, Ralphie, literally cuddled up against me. So this is ideal.
The audio doesn't sound too much different either.
Oh, even better.
So as long as you're comfortable holding the mic and doing all that, that's...
And I am.
Well, that's all that we have for these first 4 episodes of Gekiranger. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes, thank you.
We will be back next week, not with Gekiranger, but we're going back to Build. Remember, we're going to alternate. So next week, expect episodes 5 through 8 of Build.
Woohoo!
And
be the one, y'all.
The week following that will be 5 to 8 of Gekiranger. So we will see you there, whether it's on Build or whether it's back here for Gekiranger.
Alrighty.
Yeah.